gentlemen, you guys know what time it is. It is Thursday, and we're excited for tonight's show. I'm pumped up. This is somebody that I've been wanting to have on for a while. We got him tonight live, you guys, and it's going to be one hell of a show. But as you know, we always introduce my boy from St. Louis first. So what's going down, Q? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. We got another great show. Awesome guest, man. Definitely a lot of things to touch on. And the season's around the corner, man. We were just saying that a minute ago. Like, you try to explain to these kids, man, like your summer's short, man. Get home, check on your parents, and it's right back to work. That's pretty much how it is. So
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we're going to get into it. But like I said, you guys, first and foremost, we got a special show for you tonight. Very few can get an acting AD at the Division I level onto their podcast to share insight, you guys. It's a crazy time in college sports. So we've got a Division I athletic director. This is somebody that I look at as a friend and family. I've known him since I was a teenager and never would have thought that he would be the AD of the UC-Davis Aggies, but he is responsible, you guys, for over 670 athletes, over 24 varsity sports, 93% grad rate, you guys. So they're killing it. They're raising money. I've been down there. They've got facilities that are top notch, and some conference shifting going on too. So we're going to get into it, and let me not hold back any longer. We've got the great AD Rocko DeLuka. What's going on, Rocko?
Not too much, T. Wood. I appreciate you having me on, and it's been a while. We've been trying to connect the dots, and glad it finally worked tonight.
Definitely.
Oh, man, I'm pumped up, dude. You have no idea. And we serve athletes, and as you know, and we've talked throughout the years, and you've done such a great job. We've got a couple actually at Davis right now. So I just want to get into it, man. I don't want to waste any more time. You've had an interesting journey to become an athletic director at the level you're at. What are some of the keys when you think back on the journey? What are some of the keys that have led you to this moment?
Yeah, I think really for me, it started with having the right mentors and leaders to kind of get me started on the path, right? So going back to my time at Colorado, having somebody like Dave Burton in the training room who gave me some counsel, because again, I thought I'd be an athletic trainer and eventually wanted to be a doctor, but I saw all the things that were happening in the athletic department, thought that would really be fun to be Dick Tharp, who was the AD at the time. And thankfully they talked me out of, going down the sports med path, and gave me counsel to go explore the business side and really get to learn it. And I was just really fortunate to have some serendipitous moments that fell into some opportunities, and, a little hard work and a little extra hard work go a long way in this business. So I think for me, it was just really picking the right moments and moves. So, to work in athletics and only really have to work at 3 different institutions is pretty rare. And I'm just fortunate that, when I made the move from UMass to Davis, that there was enough meat left on the bone here that we could continue to make some progress and help this place be the best version of the Division I department we're trying to be in, and that work continues.
Is there a path to becoming an AD? I know you were in kinesiology and you think you were going the sports med route, and that's pretty straightforward. But when you look at ADs, I mean, it's all over the place. Is there a playbook for someone who wants to do what you're doing?
I think for me, I really wanted to do the revenue side because, and especially now, if you can generate money and raise money, sell tickets, there's always going to be something for you, whether it's at an institution like UC-Davis or in the professional ranks. No one's ever going to say they have enough resources. So people with that critical skill set certainly can have a path in athletics. I think the other challenging piece is, as you navigate this journey, is there's so much related to personnel, identifying talent, working with other people, working within a campus community, and realizing that really I'm just the caretaker of the institutional piece that is the front porch of the institution. And there are a lot of people behind the scenes that you have to slowly get on board to make things happen. And that's really why I'm excited to be at Davis right now, because it's been 8 years of a long build to get to where we're at. And we're just at this little critical tipping point where I think we're, we've had our best fall ever. We've had our best spring. We had our best grades in the winter quarter. We've had our best fundraising year. So all those things are adding up to not just a flash in the pan, but I really feel like we've set the foundation to continue the success and the trajectory we're on.
Nice.
That's it.
You got a little bit of feed. Hold
on. Hear me well. That was a great feedback right there. There's so many elements, Rocko, to the new college era. I mean, we've got NIL, we've got transfer portal. You went to COVID up at Davis. So when you think about all of the new elements, guys getting paid by the unit from the university, when you think of all the new elements, what's been kind of the toughest one to transition?
Honestly, I think COVID was a good training model for what we're in right now, because everything was so fluid and on the fly as we were getting sports back up and going in 21 that that's really the stage we're in right now, where you have minute by minute things landing, whether it's lawsuits, the House settlement, transfer portal. And that's part of the reason I love being at Davis, because the transfer portal is a factor, but it's really not for a place like us. And we were just talking, my football coach and I think since the transfer portal started, the roster turnover has been about 200-ish for any given Division I school. And when you look at UC-Davis, we were going back through our numbers, and we've had 9 transfers.
Wow.
9. So to me, obviously our football program finished number 5 in the country last year. Part of it's we have a successful program, but also speaks more to the culture and the climate and the education that young people can find here at Davis, that even though there's this NIL and pay for play happening at a level beyond us, people still want to be part of what we have going on here in Northern California, which is awesome.
Oh, no, it is awesome, man. You guys have been just a major force in that conference for a while. And the Big Sky Conference is a big-time conference. So thank you for sharing on that. On to our next topic, and those that are joining us, thank you so much. We are live with the great AD Rocko DeLuka at UC-Davis. You guys, a Division I program in California, you athletes may want to consider UC-Davis. But we are on to our next topic, and all the topics are on the bottom ticker. And I want to run this one first by you, Q. I mean, we're in a new day and age, like I said, in college football, and I think it gets tougher and tougher to decide when to let a coach go or when to hold on to a guy. So which one do you think gets guys in more trouble from an athletic director standpoint, Q? Is it holding on to a coach too long, or is it letting go of a coach too early? Can you hear?
A lot of factors that you have to look at. So either way can hurt the program. Obviously you have to look at, as far as your athletic programs, we do compete to win, right? So it's hard to kind of gauge depending how long that time is going to be. Me personally, I look at a new coach like, hey, he needs at least a 4-year window, maybe 5, to be able to cycle through a freshman class to seniors. Even though we have, the portal or whatnot, and that changed a lot. But I guess in regards to, we'll say, old school standards, being able to at least cycle through a freshman all the way through seniors, and kind of see where we're at, maybe at year 4.
Okay.
So much has changed now. Especially like Rocko was saying, man, teams like Alabama, SC, teams like that. The dollar amount is so high, it has to be like the natty or nothing. Basically, that's basically where they're at with that type of money coming in. So, yes, it's definitely a difficult call, I would imagine, from an AD standpoint.
Yes, indeed. And I see my mother-in-law is always holding us down, says happy Thursday, ready for the locker room. And Big Jimmy, as always, too, says locker room family. We see you guys. Love you. Thank you for joining us. Rocko, you're literally living this life. I mean, you guys had Dan Hawkins and made the transition to Tim, who is a former Aggie himself and doing an amazing job, obviously, like you said, at the top of the ranks in the country. But I know there's politics involved in this, Rocko. And when you think about the politics in hiring someone new, because there's alums in your ear and donors, or when you think about the politics of letting someone go, which one is a little bit more harder to navigate?
Well, I think anytime you make personnel changes in the exit, whether it's coaches or staff, that's always the hardest, right? Hiring, not that it's easy because it comes with its own piece, but as I like to brag on my team and our staff here at Davis, once we get head coaches to campus, our hit rate is really, really high. Like we typically, I think we're 13 of 13 on hiring the head coach and our first choice of what we wanted. But that speaks more to the institution, and we do a really good job negative recruiting to who we are and what we aren't. And, I think that's really been my focal point. So I feel like the hiring piece, we do really well. I feel like the separation piece is never fun because you're affecting people's livelihood, their careers, and oftentimes there are factors outside of even my control when it gets to that stage. Because certainly at a place like UC-Davis, those changes don't happen because of wins and losses, like you just mentioned. We don't have that same financial pressure where I have a little more leeway to allow coaches to grow into their success and help build that with them.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point right there. And we're on to our next topic, you guys. And Q, I'll start off with you again because I want to give Rocko some time for this one. This will be a good one for Rocko. When you were at Kansas, major university, how influential was the AD? Did you see him around or her? Were there moves being made that you were aware of, or was it kind of an out of sight, out of mind experience?
It really was out of sight, out of mind. Ironically enough, I believe going into our matter of fact, was that Bud Selig? I believe that was our AD my freshman year and prior. But I remember my sophomore year, and this is interesting. Our sophomore year, Gale Sayers threw his name in the hat and didn't get the job. And we all were like, wait a minute, like you're joking, right? Like that's like Wilt Chamberlain coming and trying to be just that alone, which obviously in regards to everything he's accomplished athletically, but just truly believing that he could get the job done. But like surprisingly, I remember him not getting the position, but our AD was we had a great AD, but he just wasn't really visible as much. And I'm as far as I've always known, as colleagues of mine have gone to different major universities, it's like that a lot. Like you don't really see the AD a whole lot outside of interviews, or unless something really, really went well as far as a hire, or something really, really went wrong. But usually, a lot of times, you don't really, see your AD, and it's unfortunate, but often it's like that.
Yeah. Well, and now I want to come to once again to the person that's living this life and making these decisions. Finish this sentence for me, Rocko. The AD is going to let his coaches run their athletic programs the way they want, unless blank.
Oof. Unless their decisions or actions go against what our values are as a department or bring negative light to the institution. I think we fully support our coaches until it strays into that area. And and I just want to say for the audience, like, I did not pick the title that is there. I don't claim to be Wise AD. I thought maybe we were having a different
Wise AD me.
But no, I certainly think that it's tricky, right? And we're in a competitive, even at our level, we're ultra competitive people. And what I love are coaches who know to push, but they also know when to kind of step back and allow things to happen without sort of additional pressure, whether it's on the student athletes or the staff.
So, and I would assume at a place like UC-Davis, like you said before, it might not be necessarily so much wins and losses or tickets sold or who you got in the portal. Would wins or losses or academic graduation rate? I mean, are you knocking on the door if the grad rate slips a little bit?
No, I think the barometer for me is, are we competitive at the level that we expect given our investment? Because I've got 25 sport programs. It's hard to expect excellence across the board, even though that's obviously the shared goal. I think the reality is, if we're providing an elite student athlete experience and we keep the love of the game with the young people that are in our charge, then by and large, we're going to have coaches who have a career here. If we have a change in values and all of a sudden we have young people who don't enjoy coming to school at UC-Davis, that's usually the red flag. So not graduation, not wins and losses. It's really the student athlete experience. And I really do try to not be the AD that you described before. Like, I do try to have our student athletes that call me Rocko, who's like, we're pretty low key here, which is my style. And I think that, again, we really, really try hard to have our student athletes know that we're here for them. We care about them as young people. We want to help develop them into great professionals beyond their time here at UC-Davis. So that's where we spend all of our time, is post-college career focus and just trying to elevate people.
That's amazing, Rocko. And you guys, I mean, just the balance. You guys are doing it top notch on both sides, on the sports side and academically. I mean, a young man or young lady can get both at UC-Davis, which is amazing. We're on to our next topic, you guys, ripping and running through the locker room show. And Q, I'll start off with this because I need some guru opinion on this. When you played at Kansas and I was at Colorado and Rocco was at Colorado, we were eating top ramen and scrounging up money to go to the movies. And now these guys are on billboards and driving Mercedes and buying mom and dad a house. So do we need to change the title of student athlete? Is that something that is old and no longer, or does that still exist? And I'm talking obviously at the D-1 level.
Look at the images, man, and you just, we're just showing, like, man, you're a professional. You're a professional. To me, man, once you start receiving, opportunities as far as like car dealerships and local businesses, man, and the amount of money some of these athletes are seeing, in my book, you're a professional. You're a professional, man. And it's hard to classify a kid that obviously you're still playing for a university. You are still technically a student athlete, but as far as like revenue, you're a professional. Like, we say that all the time, T. It's kids that, we were just talking about Quinn Ewers last week. It's kids that are going professional and taking pay cuts. you know. And I guess my question is how do you? I keep wondering, how do these coaches? How do you still, how do you still mentor, some of these kids that are making more than you? What do you tell them, right? How do you keep them grounded, when you have your quarterback making $3 million a year?
No, that's part of the juggling act for the coaches, and obviously people like Rocko. Obviously a little bit different at Davis, Rocko. Not
Yeah.
as much money pressure, but talk to me. I mean, because you've been at some major universities. If I'm a parent right now, my kid's getting ready to go play at Texas. Is he a student athlete, or is that not true?
I think it will vary by institution, right? I think it's easy at Davis for us to point to the fact we are committed to the student athlete model.
Mm-hmm.
Our grades or graduation success all match that. We've got 38% of our student athletes are in STEM majors, so we run the gamut here. And I can't speak to what others are doing, especially at the Power 4 level. I think it's a tough model right now. I think everybody's doing the best they can to adjust on the fly to, really a system that we need some checks and balances, because the third party agents who are out there unregulated, which is different than the pro model, taking 30 or 40% of the deals that young people are making, the bad guidance some are getting to enter the portal. And then you add in the pressure, and you said it, like, they are pros and it's a job.
Yeah.
And you both know you approach playing sports differently when you have the love of the game versus feeling like it's a job. And I just don't know that a lot of 18 to 22-year-olds are prepared for the pressure that comes with the job.
Yeah.
And I think that's what parents and their children need to really think hard about, because gone are the days where someone's going to invest to prepare you and build you and mold you into the young man that you're going to become.
Exactly.
Now it's everybody's in a contract year, and you both know what it's like to be in a locker room when you got people in a contract year. It's hard to have team camaraderie, team spirit. Yeah. And that's why some of the teams that bump out of the gates early really have a tough time pulling together by the end of the season, because the coaches don't have the levers that they used to have.
I mean, even at your level, I know it's not as much money being involved, but there is pressure. The coach is getting paid, and the alums are in your ear. And what would you say to maybe a parent listening as far as just the mental prep or guidance to get their kid ready to play at a school like UC-Davis?
Yeah, I think it's just asking the hard questions, right? And like I described with how we recruit coaches, I think we pride ourselves within our department of having people ask hard questions. Are you going to support me in the classroom? Are you going to support me if something comes up back home that they need to attend to? Are you going to let me miss practice for labs because I really want to be an electrical engineer and I need that support? I think those are the questions that people need to ask. And then if you're fortunate enough to be talented enough, we're working on retention through our collective, or in the future looking at NIL rev share as we're at Mountain West School, then certainly there's going to be some additional monetary opportunities on top of scholarship. But I feel like the ones who are really going to be successful at Davis are the ones who come here still for the education first, and then all the other nice to haves are just going to enhance that experience as Aggies.
100% right there. And I see Big Jimmy coming in saying Power 4 conferences don't have student athletes. These coaches need to go coach under Coach Prime to learn how to deal with the money influx. I hear you, Big Jimmy, right there. No, but that is great right there. I mean, there is just a lot to get ready for. Some of you student athletes have never even had a paper route. You never even worked at Chick-fil-A. And now you got a lot of pressure on you, and you get in the car, and there's a lot for you guys to get ready for. So appreciate you sharing that. We are on to our next topic, you guys. And for those that are joining us for the first time, this is the lightning round. Excited to take our guest, the great Rocko DeLuka, through the lightning round where he has 60 seconds to get through our version of word association. And I've known this gentleman since we were both young, so I got a good list right here for the great Rocko, the AD. I'm not going to get you in any NCAA trouble. So you don't have to worry about that. But you got 60 seconds, brother, and you got to get through as many as you can. Now, it's the first thing that comes to your head. So don't try to say extra words or think too much because then you're going to lose. Now, we also, Rocko, don't do this just for fun. We put a dinner on this. So if you get to 15 or more, I got to come on down to UC-Davis and take you out to a steak dinner. So if you get to 15 or more, then you got a dinner on me. You guys see he's at 0 right there. He's got 60 seconds to get through my list. All right, let's get going, baby. First thing that comes to AD Rocko's mind. All right, number one, Rocko. Number one. Boulder, Colorado. Go.
Go Buffs.
Nachos or French fries?
Nachos.
The Big Sky Conference.
Elite.
Deion Sanders.
Entertaining.
Favorite place to eat in Sacramento or Davis?
Burger Saloon.
Cheesecake or apple pie?
Cheesecake.
NIL.
Rough.
Tim Plow.
Also elite.
Saquon Barkley or Adrian Peterson?
Woo, Saquon.
Favorite salad dressing? 50 seconds.
Italian.
Mercedes or BMW?
BMW.
Peanuts or almonds?
Almonds.
The Sac State Hornets.
Oh, Stingers down.
Chicken palm or chicken fettuccine? Time. We'll
give him that one. Chicken parm, Rocko.
Yeah.
Chicken parm, give him that last.
Hey, he was rolling. Let's
he might have got that one. He might have got that one. Yeah. Chicken parm on the last.
Once again, he's got to get to 15 or higher. But now he gets one for Tech-Delay. He gets one for Tech-Delay.
And we got to count him up.
14 puts him in the mix with the great agent Evan Brennan. All right, let's add them up and recap. Number one, Boulder, Colorado, where we both went to college. He said, go Buffs. Number two, nachos or French fries. Rocko says, give me the nachos. Number three, the Big Sky Conference, the conference of UC-Davis. He says, elite. Number four, Deion Sanders, the coach at his old school. He says, entertaining. Number five, favorite place to eat in Davis or Sac. He says, the Burger Saloon. Number six, cheesecake or apple pie. AD Rocko says, give me the cheesecake. Number seven, NIL. He says, rough. Number eight, it's probably could have said a lot more. Number eight, Tim Plow, the head coach at UC-Davis. He says, elite. Number nine, Saquon Barkley or Adrian Peterson. He says, give me the young buck, Saquon. Number 10, salad dressing, his favorite one. He says, give me the Italian. Number 11, Mercedes or BMW. Rocko says, I'm rolling in the Beamer. Number 12, peanuts or almonds. He says, give me the almonds. Number 13, Sac State Hornets. Their rival, Stingers down. And number 14, chick palm or chicken fettuccine. He says chick palm. So with the tech delay, he's at 15.
Yeah,
15,
I knew he was wrong. He had to be there.
All right.
I knew he was
all
there.
right.
Close.
So you're in a tie.
Nice.
With super agent Evan Brennan. So unless anybody beats you guys before we start the season, then we got to have a showdown. So, all right, good job. I like a buff showing us what's up. All right, you guys, we're on to our last section of the show. If you happen to be joining us live, thank you. The comment section is open. If you have a question for the great AD Rocko, let us know. But Q, I know you got something for Rocko.
I actually do. I guess because this was good because I have daughters. Rocko, how do you feel your opinion maybe in the view of ADs that you've seen over time with more of an emphasis on women's sports?
Yeah, I think the elevation of women's athletics nationally right now has been awesome. We added beach volleyball and equestrian 5 years ago.
I'm sorry. Wait, equestrian?
Yeah.
Hey, folks, do you hear that? They have equestrian.
Yeah. So
this is UC-Davis. They don't play.
Damn. How do you respond to that? Equestrian?
So,
jeez. I don't even think Brown, like Ivy League schools have equestrian.
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I think that's what's fun for me is we compete in women's lacrosse in the Big 12. We have field hockey. We've got water polo. So in addition to volleyball, soccer, we really have a broad-based program that we're super proud of here at Davis. But I do think that if I had young daughters right now playing sports, encouraging them to play multiple sports, and as you saw yesterday with the NFL approving participation in flag, especially here in California, like flag football is one of the next emerging big-time sports that eventually a place like us will probably have.
Nice.
That's big right there. Flag football, men and women's in the Olympics. It's huge. The NFL even approved guys in the NFL to play in the Olympics. But I have heard a lot of colleges bringing on girls flag football as a varsity sport. So that's huge right there. Rocko, I wanted to ask you, do we have a minute? Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a young athlete, and his dad wanted me to ask you this before we came on the show tonight, but he was recruited by Davis out of junior college. And I know that junior colleges aren't necessarily the cup of tea for the UC-Davises, the Cal Poly. It's a little harder maybe to get some of the kids in. But he had a situation where I guess the school wanted to recruit him, but they couldn't because of, I don't know if there was a certain class limit or what, but are the restrictions a little difficult for the JC kids to a school like Davis?
So UC Davis is, we do take a lot of transfers from JC. However, they really have to make sure as they're taking classes that it maps to transferable credits to Davis.
Oh. Okay.
Because oftentimes they take classes that maybe might be guaranteed A's or B's, so they have success, but they don't actually map to a major at Davis. So if they're heavy in PE or phys ed or things that we don't have majors on, then it becomes really challenging. And that's also true for just transfers in general. Like we really don't have a lot of success out of the transfer portal because the way credits map to the UC system, and especially in a quarter system like we have.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it must be a transfer in units system deal, because I don't know if this information is right, but he says his son got into UC Davis, but compliance said he was not eligible to play the season because he doesn't have 40% of his major completed.
Yeah. So again, that comes down to progress towards degree, which again has everything to do with how many credits are going towards that degree. Okay.
So hopefully that answers your question, Jihad, and you guys get some clarification on that there. I've got Big Jimmy coming in, and he's saying, does UC Davis offer full scholarships?
We offer full scholarships. It just depends on the sport and what the coach packages. But we've got international full scholarships. We got in-state full scholarships. But again, given our variance of 25 sports, that scholarship amount does differ by program.
That's huge. Before we let you go, I know there's so many things that are on the agenda. Like I said, you guys are changing facilities. You guys are changing conferences in different sports. How do you determine which sports go to which conferences? I know that you guys are doing a Mountain West shift. Why didn't football go to Mountain West?
Yeah, really, the piece for us is, we're the top 5 public school in Northern California, and we want to compete athletically at the highest level possible. And when the Mountain West came knocking on the door and expressed interest in adding us and everything but football, to me, it made the best sense, because if you've ever been to the stadium and you were flashing through the photos, right now we don't really have a stadium footprint that I can actually monetize an FBS program. And so our focus is here in the short term to come up with some premium seat areas, club seats, suites, and some of the things that both of you have seen in other places, so we can prepare for the future. But more importantly, as I tell everybody, like, I'm trying to catch up to Montana State, North Dakota, South Dakota State, because they have those things. And we've done a lot with just a little bit of revenue. If I can even come close to some of the revenue numbers that they have, watch out, because we're going to put this thing on steroids.
Nice.
Wow, I love it, Rocko, and yeah, man, you have done so much with a lot less than some of the other ADs in the conference, and I know you got big plans, man, and a big vision. So thank you for joining us tonight. Let me make sure I don't have any last questions. Oh, Coach Hughes is saying his wife is a UC-Davis grad, class of 99. Yeah, nice. So there you go right there. And we know, we love you, Coach Hughes. Thanks for joining us. So, hey, Rocko, man, I know you got a lot on your plate. I really appreciate you taking the time tonight, man. Love you, and keep up the good work out there in Sac and Davis.
No, thank you guys for having me on.
Sure.
Appreciate it. And, hopefully somebody beats my 15. They can get to 16. Not that hard.
Hey, we'll see. We might have to take Rocko out to dinner, but hey, thank you, brother, and we'll see you later on. All right, you guys. That is the great AD Rocko DeLuka, you guys, and Q. I mean, dude, and this is what I tell the kids: don't burn bridges. You never know who you're next to. This man was taping ankles, dude. And looking at our crazy feet, and now he is running the show. He's cutting the checks.
Listen, that's why we always say make acquaintances with guys outside of just the squad, because when you do, you open up your circle, and your classmates, and I'm talking classmates as far as where you go to a university outside of your teammates. Man, you never know, man. People end up, judges, attorneys. You just never know.
Well, I think that's the biggest cachet nowadays to college, because people are debating, okay, is it worth the coin? Am I getting a job right out of college or opportunity? And people aren't feeling like it's enough bang for their buck. But when you think about the relationships that are at a university of Kansas, at a university of college, you have no idea where those people are going to go.
They're priceless. They're priceless. And all you got to do, man, because you made those relationships, man, is pick up the phone. You can't put a price tag.
For some of you guys, it's high school too. It's the high school that you're at is a very exclusive high school. So the people that you meet and rub elbows with, they're going to be doing big things, you guys. So don't look past those people. Don't look past those people. There you go, Coach Hughes. Treat everyone like they're important, because they just might be. And then the great Jimmy says, great show, great information. Hey, I don't know too many people bringing you guys ADs in the middle of the school year, at the end of the school year. And he got a lot on his plate.
25 different sports. That's insane. Did you hear the different sports that he had? I mean, even in regards to equestrian? What?
Dude.
Women's water polo,
women's flag football.
Man, listen, man.
I know a lot of schools are eyeing it, man.
Hey,
a lot of schools are eyeing it.
Yeah.
You might see Texas versus LSU flag football with the girls, dude. Not too long from now. And they're talking scholarship too.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna be huge. Well, you got to think about it like this. It's it's so funny because you see the Marvin Harrisons and Joey Porter's son. Guys have daughters too that are crazy athletes. Matter of fact, I tell you what. For those of you looking out, look up Brock Lesnar. Have you seen Brock Lesnar's daughter? She's like a 3-time champion. Yeah, Colorado State. She's a monster.
No, is it Colorado?
No, she's a Colorado State. Yeah. Shot put champ. So people have daughters too, man. We're so used to seeing the sons strap it up on Saturdays and Sundays. Dude, there's a lot of people, guys, daughters that are monsters too.
A lot of young ladies taking the flag football serious. And in Mexico girls aren't no joke, man. The Olympics are going to be live. But you guys heard it here first. You got a Division I UC-Davis talking about Big Sky. Don't be surprised if you see women's flag football in the Big Sky.
Definitely.
A little UC-Davis versus Eastern Washington or Sac State in flag football. So, Brock Lesnar's daughter is a beast.
She is, Jimmy. He's a monster, too.
So,
seriously.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. I know some of you guys might be getting off of track practice or running a little late. He gave a lot of good information, you guys. So if you didn't catch the show from the beginning, make sure you run it back. And then while you're there, also make sure that you like, subscribe, and share because we do this every single week. Please feel free. We've got a library that's absolutely ridiculous of great shows. Amazing game and sauce for you guys to learn from, so you got a leg up on the competition. And then, of course, if you do need recruiting support, check us out at beforeyougopro.com. We have athletes across the country. We're talking to schools daily, talk to a bunch of schools today, and then we've got a ton of resources, you guys. And then, of course, NILLC.org, where we get your game tight. You heard AD Rocko talking about NIL. Well, he said some of you guys need to learn how to get ready and how to get prepared. So make sure that you guys are prepared so that you can take advantage of this new day and age because it's wide open. It's wide open. And that's it's not just the guys, it's the ladies too that know how to. The ladies are making more money than a lot of the guys, man. So very, very good times. We were eating top ramen and cold pizza, and you guys got Mercedes and buying my house. So make sure you know how to play that game. Make sure you know how to play that game. All right, Q. Well, join us next week. We got another great guest coming to you. Q, anything for the good people before we get out of here, baby?
No, again, man, as I said at the beginning of the other show, man, it's a short season. Stay healthy. Stay out of trouble, and make good decisions. It's easy to come home, and we've seen tragedy strike time and time again, just in that short window of the end of the end of semester, right? And reporting back to school, and tragedy strikes. Make good decisions, right? Get home safe and get back to school safe and get back to work. But have fun. Your kids, your young people, we get it. We've been there. We've lived that life, right? But just make good decisions.
Let me ask you before we let them go. You probably had some boys in St. Louis that didn't go off to college and maybe was chilling around the block a little bit. Was it hard for you to come home and separate from certain people, or was that something that was easy for you to do?
You know what? It was easy for me to do. Reason being is because that's where the parents come in, right? That's where the parents or, the uncles or whoever, is a main staple in your life as a student athlete, to when you go home and they keep you, they keep you on the up and up. It's like you have to remind yourself, okay, I'm not just playing for me. I'm playing for them. I represent them. So me making a poor decision is going to not just reflect on me. It's going to reflect on my family. That's what's going to aid you in making better decisions.
Did you ever stay in Lawrence? Did you ever not go back home?
I think one summer I did. Often enough, I got back home, even if it was for a small window. I strongly recommend, you check on your parents, as much as you possibly can. So, sometimes it might be tough depending on where you're at, especially on the West Coast, how far you have to travel. But if you're able to do so, then definitely do that.
Let me ask you this before I let you go. We got a 5 or 4-star kid who has some cachet. He's signing a nice NIL deal. And let's say it's your kid. Are you letting them be free and kind of seeing how things play out? Or if the cash flow is there or the bargaining chips, are you asking to have a place by your son's school?
I feel like it's like this. This is one thing about going off to college.
You in Houston.
Yeah.
And your boy is going to go play wide out. He 4-star recruit, played at North Shore, little Q, and now he's going to go play wide out at LSU. And they're giving him $400K. And they say, Dad, you want an apartment? What are you saying?
I'm good. Because at some point, you have to know as a parent that you put enough morals into your kid for them to be able to make it and make good decisions without you being at arm's length. Okay. Right? So that's how you know if you're a good parent or not. If you can trust your kid to be away from you and still make good decisions, that's the key indicator that you've been a good parent. If not, then you might have some work to do.
Well, shoot, I'm thinking of mine went to London out of high school, and we were still up, brother. Thinking what is this boy doing in Paris? In London.
Well, I mean, it's not, as a parent, you're still gonna worry and be concerned. But I'm saying overall, that you
don't need a place.
Yeah, exactly. You've put enough into your kid, raising them the right way. With the right attitude.
Let them go have their college experience and kind of watch it from afar.
Right, because here's the thing about college too. It's about finding yourself as a young adult. That's a part of college, and it's very important. It's about finding yourself. What is it that I want to do with myself? What type of circle do I want to build? Right? All that has to do in you growing into who you're going to be. So you have to have that. You got to let them go.
Okay. All right. Some of you parents may be in that situation. Some of you kids may want the parent to come, depending on your relationship. But it's definitely a speaking topic and something to think about. Coach Hughes right here saying learning independence. And I know Elijah went off originally to UNLV, and he's about to go off again. So, no, very, very well, you guys. So, hey, thank you for joining us as always on the Locker Room Show every Thursday, the best organic football audience on YouTube, baby. And we're going to grow this thing, and we're going to blow it up as we get into the football season. Like you said, there is no off season, baby. You heard AD Rocko. He said they're looking for the right kids, all right, at UC-Davis. So maybe that's you. And that's a connection. I can call him up and say, hey, I got a kid that's going to come take a visit, and Rocco's going to show you some love. So, hey, you guys have a great evening. We will see you next week on the Locker Room Show. I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood, and that is Q the Guru. We'll see you at the top.